So once you've got all your cables plugged into the Mackie and you want to start testing the LA-4 compressor, the first thing you'll need is a steady signal flowing through the Mackie console. Here we have a white cable that's labeled CR Mon left, control room monitor left. And it happens to have the label tone written on it for the time being. And we're going to replace channel 15, this black cable, CR Mon right, with the white cable, CR Mon left. And we're just going to do this for the test. We're going to put everything back where we found it at the end of the test. But what this cable does is it gives us steady signal running into the board for us to use to test the compressor. All right, so once we got our tone plugged into channel 15, we can go ahead and start getting that tone to send to the output of the Mackie. So the first step there is to make sure your master fader is up. We want ours up at unity. And then we want to go to channel 15. Notice we have a green LED indicator telling us that we have signal going in to that channel. And we want to make sure that LR is engaged. We want that button depressed in so that we are sending the signal to the main mix. Now I'm going to take channel 15 fader and bring that up to unity. And as you see, we're starting to get lights on the output. So then I'm going to go to this knob, the line trim knob at the top of channel 15. And I'm going to turn that up so that we read positive 7 dB at the output. So I'm going to slowly turn that up and right till I get to 7 right there. And if you need to, you can adjust the pan knob. Try to get it dead center. You don't want to mess with it. Try to get dead center. But it's normal if there's a slight discrepancy in the meter reading there. So we want that right at 7. All right, so here we have our LA-4 compressor, and we have signal sending from the Mackie at plus 7 dBu coming into these two. So the first step is to turn them on. We have the on switch there and the on switch there. This one is for your left channel. This one's for your right. And for the time being, I have the stereo link off and off. At the end, I'm going to switch those back to on. So notice the basics, first and foremost, is that we set our ratio to 4:1. That's a 4 that it says there. I can do 2:1. I can do 8:1. And I can do 20:1, but we want to be at 4. The same for this side. I want to match that setting on the ratio. Now we want to set the threshold. And before I get to that, let me show you what this the meter knob does. And that's this this inner knob down here. So I can twist this one. See as I'm twisting that, how nothing's happening there? But then I'm going to twist this inner one here. And as I change that, you're going to see this needle move quite a bit. So I'm going to move this over. And now my needle moved. And so what that needle is showing you is what you're metering. So right now we're metering the output level at line level. Plus 8 adds another 4 dB, and so that's at plus dB. I'm sure that's another reference, standard reference level. But we want to see gain reduction. What gain reduction tells us is how much the compressor is compressing. As it passes our user-defined threshold that we set here, gain reduction tells us how much the compressor is reducing the gain after the signal exceeds the threshold. So we want to meter for the time being on GR at gain reduction. And then we want to set our threshold knob, that's this outer knob here, so that it reads -3. So we've got right there, it might be hard to see on the screen, but it says -3 right there in the middle. So I'm going to move that over just so it says -3. I want that pretty close to be on the money, close as I can get it. Right there. I'm going to do the same for this other channel. I'm going to set that to -3. Get that right on the line. So now what we've done is we've set an identical amount of gain reduction on both the left and right channels. So we've got the same amount of compression going on both channels. So now what we want to do is set the output gain so that it's the same on both the left channel and the right channel. In order to do that, we need to see the output gain, because once again, if I move this knob, I don't see what's happening. This does set the output level, as it says there. This does set the output gain, but as I move it, we don't see the change that's happening. So what I'll do is set this inner knob to +4, and notice our meter changes, our needle moves. Good. So currently, if we were to output here, leave this setting as it was, we'd be overloading the output level. I'm going to dial this down so it goes to -1. Get that right on the line at -1. I'm going to do the same for the other channel. Set the meter to +4, and then move that line so it gets to -1. Now I set this up beforehand, but let's actually dial that in a little closer. That right on the line, -1. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Right on the line there. So now what we have is identical amounts of both gain reduction, identical amounts of compression going into the compressor, and then we have the same amounts of makeup gain at the output. So everything has been balanced here left to right. To finesse things even further, I like to turn this button on, stereo link. And what that's going to do is that if the left channel level increases dramatically, the right channel will follow it, and vice versa. The right channel will follow the left channel. And that just gives us a little bit of a smoother response left to right, so it sounds more cohesive and less like the left channel is doing its own thing and the right channel is doing its own separate thing. All right, so lastly, we want to check on the production board that everything is balanced left to right and that what we record and send out over air will be balanced left and right. I want to go to submix here on the production board, turn that on, bring this fader to unity. That's the dark gray line. Bring that up. Notice my meters go up as I bring the level up. And we are perfectly balanced left to right on both of those meters. Doesn't look like it from this angle, but if we were to lean over, that one is balanced. It's going right up to -1. That's how we set it on the LA-4 limiter compressor. And as we go to control room, turn up that gain, we're starting to hear that tone. And you're all set. That's how you dial in the compressor.